Donald Trump is going to say what he's going to say. He was basically telling black people, as he has before, that I'm your guy because I keep the immigrants out, and the immigrants that are out are making your life better. The immigrants being out makes your life better, right? He said they're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something uh, that's going to be the worst in our history. Now, the first thing everybody said, and I was one of the people that said it too, I said, what the hell is a black job? If I were to read this in the worst possible light, and I wish Joe Biden had pushed back on this, but he didn't. That's not his racial logic or his calculus or his analysis either. Um, if I read this in the worst possible light, he's saying that all the low income jobs are really black jobs. We see this in every country around the world, right? That there are jobs that we say are for Arabs. There are jobs we say are for Yazidis. There are jobs we say are for Romanis. There's jobs we say are for blacks. There's jobs we've said are for Jews. There's blacks we've said are for Irish. And it always means that the worst jobs in our society, we literally say are jobs that are best served or best filled by these people who have been racialized and marginalized in society. So saying a black job is not a good thing. And a lot of people responded because they were like, yo, this is not okay. When you say this is a black job, what are you saying about me, right? Like, for example, Keisha Lance Bottoms, former mayor of Atlanta, says, I have a law degree. Does that get me a black job, right? Because again, the idea was like, what is a black job? And of course, people had jokes. These are, and I don't want to get into the jokey part of it because Twitter, they nailed it, right? But you got people like DeLon Diller, who said the moderators are not pressing them enough for me. I understand we only have 90 minutes, but there's certainly a few things that could have been clarified or challenged, including a black job. That's right. I would have said, Mr. Trump, and you too, Mr. Biden, what the hell is a black job? Because it sounds like you're saying the shittiest jobs in society are black, or should be associated with black and Hispanic people. That is my worst case read. Now, I don't think that's what Trump was trying to communicate, even if that's what he thinks in the back of his mind. In fact, I would bet my last dollar that's what he thinks in his mind. But what he's trying to say, what he's probably trying to say is that black people are overrepresented. He can't use words like overrepresented, but that black people are overrepresented in certain jobs, low skill, low wage jobs, that they're overrepresented in home health care, that they're overrepresented in government, that they're overrepresented in all these areas. And that if you bring Mexicans in, that's all he's really talking about, that they're going to take those, that they're taking the low wage jobs. And basically the Mexicans are taking your jobs, black people. So me building a wall, me having draconian immigration policy, that is for your benefit, black people, because I'm saving the black jobs. That's a generous interpretation. And you know what? I'm willing to be generous, not because I like Donald Trump, but because I think he believes that. Or more importantly, I think some of y'all believe that. And I think it's important to push back against that logic. The truth is, the data contradicts what not only what Trump is saying, but what a lot of black people I hear saying when I hear xenophobic narratives coming from them. Oh, I don't want these Mexicans taking my job. The unemployment rate right now, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I know under the Roberts Code, we don't like data in organizations that produce expertise from the government, but the Bureau of Labor Statistics finds that right now, for US-born citizens of all races, unemployment is at 3.8. It's an all-time low. That's lower than the overall unemployment rate. Black unemployment is also low. So Mexicans aren't taking your job because we're not looking for jobs. There's not a whole lot of black people who need jobs, right? Now let's go to the other point, right? He's saying, but the jobs they do take are your jobs, Black people. So you will be more unemployed. That's not true. People who come to this country as newly arrived immigrants, they go into construction, they go into agriculture, they go into food service. Those aren't jobs that Black people have that say Mexicans are taking or Guatemalans are taking. These are jobs that go unfilled if the new immigrants don't take them. So they're not taking Black jobs. They're taking jobs that nobody's taking. They're taking jobs that nobody kind of wants right now. Nobody's taking. I don't say they don't want them. They ain't taking. So our labor market right now is absorbing immigrants easily. It's creating jobs for people who are already here, and the people who would be most impacted by immigration are just fine. So this isn't, so even if you believe that Donald Trump is operating in good faith and he was just trying to look out for the Black people who lose their job to the immigrant, or the white guy who's losing his job to the immigrant, it's not true. It's a myth. It's a farce. It's part of Trump's fascist tactics. His fascist political campaign, his fascist ideology, his fascist rhetoric is to always take somebody who's economically vulnerable, the poor white guy in the Midwest, for example, and tell him that the reason that he can no longer work in the factory and put his kid through college, the reason that he can't afford the mortgage on his house as interest rates go up, the reason why he's not as successful as his father was even 20, 30 years ago, it's not because of capitalism. It's not because of the billionaire class that Donald Trump occupies or pretends to occupy. It's not because of the hoarding of wealth of the 1%. It's not the neoliberalism's commitment to kind of globalizing capital and privatizing everything. No, it's none of that. It's the Mexican. They're taking your jobs. They're your enemy. Black man, vote for me, because these white liberals don't understand Black suffering and pain like I do as Donald Trump. Can you believe that? The billionaire represents the everyman. That's classic fascist BS, but it works. And so the idea of Black jobs is not just a dig at Black people and longstanding historical narratives about what Black labor is supposed to look like. Read Blair Kelly's book, Black Folk. It's amazing, and it gets at all of this. But also, it's a divisive tactic used to stop Black and brown people and to stop the working class, to stop the proletariat from building a movement that will overturn the current economic mode of production and produce the kind of liberatory solidarity that we need. So ain't no such thing as Black jobs. It's BS. Don't accept that as a narrative, and don't accept his solution as legitimate.